Well, hello there.
Hi.
I don't know if you remember us. We're Riley Roams. I'm Candace. This is Andrew. This fluffy one right here, this one's actually Riley. We haven't posted in a little over a month or so since we ended our New England videos, but we did want to end the year with kind of like a recap video, like a best of 2023 with some of our favorite stays, favorite places, favorite things that we did.
So to start off this recap video, we're going to talk about our favorite lodging. The favorite place that we stayed, whether it was an Airbnb, a hotel, a cardboard box on the side of the freeway, whatever it may be.
My favorite stay overall was the Parker Creek Tiny House in Saxon, Wisconsin. That was the one we stayed in February. That was right on the border of Wisconsin and the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. We stayed in a lot of tiny houses, but that was by far my favorite because one, it wasn't very tiny. It was actually quite spacious for a tiny house. Had a full-size bathroom, shower, all that good stuff. It was also very snowy when we were there, so you know, good snowy vibes. And then the property owner had some cute doggies that we got to look at out of our window every day. Oh, and there were heated floors. The floors were heated, I forgot about that. So that was nice when it was like 5 degrees outside.
So my favorite stay was also in that Michigan-Wisconsin adventure that we went to. And my favorite was the Yellow Dog Yurt in Powell, Michigan. So obviously Candace and I have different tastes. She liked the heated floors and I like the off-grid yurt with no electricity. But what I loved about the yurt is that you were basically camping, but you didn't have to set anything up. Everything was ready to go for you. You were completely surrounded by nature. There were trees everywhere. And any place that has a wood stove is incredible for me. They also had a sauna, which we never stay in places that have saunas, so that was incredible. And the outhouse had a giant window. So while you're visiting Mother Nature, you're in Mother Nature and you get to see everything. So I love that yurt.
And then next up is our favorite place, so specifically the location that we went to. And mine, and probably Andrew's, but we're picking two different ones. Mine is the Isle of Skye in Scotland. It really gave us Iceland vibes, which was pretty cool with all the greenery and mountains and waterfalls and all that. It was also just super peaceful, not nearly as crowded as some other places that we went to. There were like sheep all over the road, which was really fun and cute. It's just a place that I would really enjoy going back to and spending a lot more than just a couple of days.
So my favorite place that we visited last year was the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. We went up there because we don't get a lot of snow home here in Virginia, and boy do we strike it rich in the UP. Snowed almost every single day we were up there. We actually had to stay an extra night one time because there was a snowstorm and we had to kind of move some stuff around on the fly.
Conveniently in the tiny house, that was my favorite.
Oh no, another night of heated floors. This is the Eagle Scout in me coming out, but I also liked that you literally had to be prepared for everything. When we left for the day, we had snacks in the car, we had stuff to get us out of a snow ditch in case we went into it. You have to be prepared. And I really like the feeling of not knowing if I'm going to live or die around every turn. And you kind of have that up at the UP.
And next up is one of Riley's favorites, her favorite French fry of all of the French fries she had in 2023, which was quite a lot.
It was a lot.
But her favorite fry was in the state of Massachusetts from the Knack. Choose her favorite French fry. Well, she told us, obviously.
She whispered it in our ears.
No, we thought that they tasted really good. So we assumed that she thought they tasted really good.
Spoiler alert, we actually try every fry that she gets to try. And there's something about that French fry from the Knack. It was really crispy on the outside, but the inside was fluffy and warm, and they were incredibly fresh. So that was just a really good French fry. And Riley girl agrees, don't you, baby?
Next category is our favorite food. and we could not pick just one food each, so I have 3 different things that I'm going to tell you about. Number 1 was the Wayback Burger that we had in Connecticut. I don't think we videoed that, but I think I do have a picture of the burger. That was where Riley had her french fry.
Yeah, her Connecticut french fry.
I'm not really a big burger person, but it was...
Like 3 a year.
I would drive hours to have that burger again.
I am a big burger person, and that was the best burger I've ever had in my life.
Second up was the hot honey bagel I had from the Daily Brew in Cape Cod, Massachusetts. Super good. Also really loved the coffee shop vibe as well, and they had good smoothies. And then last up, sadly I did not even get a picture of this, but it was so good I had to mention it, was the meatloaf I had in Bridgeton, Maine from the Black Horse Tavern. It was not cheap, nothing on the menu was cheap, but it was the best meatloaf I have ever eaten in my life.
My favorite food, and you guys know me, I'm a little bit more of an adventurous eater than Candace. One of my favorites this year was the lobster roll from the Knack, the same place where Riley had her fry. I've probably had like maybe 10 lobster rolls in my life, and holy cow, it was an incredible lobster roll. Like, by far, if not the best ever, definitely the best of 2023, but it's probably pretty high up there. My next favorite is something that I was pleasantly surprised by, and I actually really enjoyed it and would definitely get it next time, and that is the haggis, neeps, and tatties. So I had the haggis our last night in Scotland. I kept putting it off, waiting for the right time, and realized, oh, we fly home tomorrow. I guess now is the right time. It was delicious, but I was like really happy with it. I ate the whole thing. I could have eaten more. I would definitely get it again. And lastly was in the town of Malag in Scotland after we did the Jacobite steam train. I had the best fish that I've ever had in my entire life. Specifically, it was hake. And it was the catch of the day. It was so buttery. It was so tender. It was a really big piece of fish. It blew me out of the water.
So next up on the agenda is our favorite hike of 2023. And I chose one that might be a little bit surprising if you saw this video, because I talked about how scared I was on this hike because it was super icy and we went a wrong way that required us walking down an icy cliff.
That's my bad.
With Riley on my back.
That's my bad twice.
But I chose the Even Ice Caves Trail in Michigan. I chose it because it was such a memorable experience. And despite it being scary at the end there, because it was literally just walking on a sheet of ice, the majority of the hike was like in a really pretty like forested winter wonderland, and the ice caves were really cool looking. Like you could actually walk inside like the ice caves and stuff. So yeah, that's why I chose that one. I would do it again if I was up there.
So my favorite hike is a hike, but it's more of a snowshoe trip. In Hurley, Wisconsin, we went to Interstate Falls. This time we left Riley at the tiny house with the heated floors, so she was extra comfortable, and we got to explore Interstate Falls together, which is a little bit more relaxed when there's no puppy on your back. Yeah, it was just super enjoyable because it was just the two of us. We could take our time. We didn't have to worry about Riley getting too cold. We were the only ones on the entire trail. It led to an incredible waterfall. We saw a river otter. I fell down some stairs. It was a great time had by all.
Next up is our favorite activity / excursion, and we both selected 2 for this because it was really hard to narrow it down. So one of mine is the Dingle Sea Safari that we did while we were in Ireland. And I picked that one because it was just a super cool way to see the Dingle Peninsula from the sea. We also saw tons of seals, we saw lots of dolphins, like super up close right next to the boat, which was really cool. We saw red stag. Yeah, I would definitely do that again if I was ever back there. And then my next activity was the Taylor Swift concert. And I know that the Taylor Swift concert isn't really an activity, but I chose it because I was about to say a once-in-a-lifetime experience, but I am going again next year, so a twice-in-a-lifetime experience.
Woo! And one of my favorite activities that we did last year was the gorge kayaking with Gorge Underground in Kentucky. I don't think I have to explain myself. We went kayaking in an old mine, which is really cool. We were underground the entire time, which is where most mines are. They had lights in the water, so you kind of see some of the stuff below you. They had the biggest fish that were like this big. It was just such a unique experience. You don't get to kayak through mines very often, or at least we don't. So that was really
cool. We were in like a glass bottom kayak, which was cool.
Yeah, that was really neat. And my second favorite activity that we did last year was the Jacobite steam train that we did in Scotland, more famously known as the Hogwarts Express. I grew up watching Harry Potter. Shout out to my Aunt Karen for getting me into that and turning me into an addict. It was just incredible. I don't know, I was 13, I think, when I started reading the books and stuff like that. So it was an entire lifetime of wanting to be on that train. And it was great. It was such a unique experience.
I watched all of the Harry Potter movies the month before, and I still really enjoyed it. Next is places that we were pleasantly surprised by. Not meaning that we weren't looking forward to going, but just kind of exceeded our expectations. So mine was Cape Cod, Massachusetts. I always assumed that Cape Cod was really pretty, but it was prettier than I imagined. I think it also helped that we were there not in the summertime, so everything was pretty chill and relaxed and not a lot of people. But the beaches were beautiful. We saw several of them and they were all very pretty. I felt like everywhere we ate there was like amazing food. The people were super nice everywhere we went. There was like a coffee shop every block. Yeah, I would like to, we were there for 3 days, but I could easily see spending like a week or two there.
The place that pleasantly surprised me was the entire state of Connecticut. If you watched our Connecticut videos, I mentioned that I was so shocked because I thought of Connecticut as New York City's ugly stepsister. Got a few comments on that video. I apologize if I offended you. I just think it's where the people that don't want to live in New York City live, but it's basically like a mini New York City. And holy cow, was I wrong. Mystic, Connecticut was incredible. The Seaport Museum there. We got to see a castle, which who knew that was going to be a thing. We were in some of the prettiest woods driving through with these curvy, beautiful roads. We took a ferry across a river.
Some of the best fall colors we saw were in Connecticut.
We were literally driving to go see that Gillette Castle that we went to, and I was like, this might be the prettiest fall foliage that I've ever seen. And we spent a lot of time in Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, but don't sleep on Connecticut. That was a really good time.
Next, we have the best coffee shop. So if you like coffee, listen up, you're going to want to go here. Mine was the Gallery Espresso in Savannah, Georgia. I chose that one because it very much gave me Central Perk Friends vibes. If you're in Friends, you know what I'm talking about. Lots of comfy couches and cute seating areas. The coffee was good, but they also had a bajillion things to choose from on their menu sweets-wise, and we got a piece of cake. That was one of the best pieces of cake I've ever eaten before.
My favorite coffee shop was the Daily Brew in Cape Cod. I don't know, we walked in and literally fell in love with this place. The people behind the counter were super nice. They had a lot of drink options, but it was just the vibe, and I feel weird saying that because I'm not a vibe kind of guy. It was incredible. You felt like you were welcomed. You almost felt like you were going to visit a friend, like you were just in a friend's house drinking your cup of coffee. While we were there, we added 4 or 5 songs to our Spotify playlist that we listened to, and that never happens. It was actually really funny. I was listening to a song while I was waiting for our food, and I went to add it to our Spotify account, and it said, "Oh, we're sorry, this is already on your playlist." And I was like, there's no way. I just heard this song. Candace has never heard the song. So I went upstairs to tell Candace, and it was already on there because she had added it about 30 seconds before I did. So I don't know. I could have a lot of cups of coffee there. That was a great place.
And then we certainly didn't want to forget the Copper Cup in Ironwood, Michigan.
We went there
every
every
day,
single
sometimes
day.
twice a day.
Sometimes twice a day.
But it was one of the cute little like drive-up ones, so you couldn't actually go inside. But that was right near where the tiny house we stayed at in Wisconsin that we both loved, kind of right across the border, actually in Michigan, not Wisconsin. But yeah, they had super fun flavors. I feel like they had like a different like coffee several times in the like a featured coffee.
Yeah, if I'm at home, I'm drinking my coffee black because it's just simpler. But if we're out and about, oh man, I got like a lumberjack caramel, blah 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 blah, delicious. 1,000 calories, but it was delicious. Yeah.
And then something new that we both tried for the first time this year and kind of fell in love with, that we definitely hope to do more of this coming year, is snowshoeing.
Yeah, that was crazy. We actually bought our own snowshoes because it was cheaper to buy it than to rent a set twice, and so we figured, well, it's probably gonna like it. It literally turns hiking into a 4-season event. Now, we were in Michigan and Wisconsin, so they have a lot of snowshoe trails and stuff like that, but I don't know, it was different. It wasn't like exponentially harder than hiking. The learning curve was like 10 or 15 minutes. I don't know, it was just something about it. It was just really, really relaxing.
And then we wanted to give some stats on our 2023 year. So we visited 14 states in total.
We drove over 30,000 miles. 6,000 of those miles I was on the other side of the car in the other lane in the UK and Ireland, so that's a stat I didn't want to forget.
We visited 3 new countries, Ireland, Scotland, and Northern Ireland.
Riley got to eat 10 French fries from 10 new states.
We took 5 ferries. We're ferry people now.
We're ferry people now. We got on 4 planes this year, which was more planes than we've been on in the last couple of years, all combined.
And roundabouts driven 2,359,001, to be very specific.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. We wanted to take a moment to thank all of you who have been subscribed to us for the entire 2023, that have seen every video we've put out this year. And also thanks to y'all that have just recently subscribed and started supporting us that way. If you're looking for more videos of ours, start scrolling back through YouTube. We have like 105, which is pretty incredible. I think 100 of those came out in the month of September, it feels like. Don't go too far back. If you start seeing Iceland stuff, maybe scroll away from that. Those are pretty old, but the rest are pretty good.
So this is going to be our last video for this year. We hope everyone has a very happy and relaxing holiday season. And we're going to take another few weeks off for the holidays, but we plan to post our first video talking a little bit about what we're actually going to be doing next year, mid-January, so be on the lookout for that.
And as always, we'll see y'all somewhere.
Bum 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 bum. Happy holidays from Riley Roams. Thanks for watching Riley Roams. Please subscribe to our channel to keep up with all of our travels. Don't forget to hit that like button and leave us a comment below about your favorite part of this video.